Yo, 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 what's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of A&E Blitz exclusively on YouTube every Tuesday at 8 a.m. If you have not already, go ahead and subscribe to us here. Drop a like, leave a comment, and let us know what you would like to see upcoming soon. If you haven't yet, go ahead and also check us out on Instagram and on Twitter, AE Podcasts. My friend across the table, my co-host, Big Tim. Today we are talking Disney Plus adding a channels feature. How do we feel?
I feel like we're turning on the TV back in 1999 to Channel 3.
Oh man, classic.
We're skipping to Channel 10 to get the Nickelodeon on time. Just in time to watch your I'm sorry, Channel 31, my apologies. Channel 31 to get to Cartoon Network, or Channel 10 if you want to watch Yu-Gi-Oh on the weekends.
Yeah, man. Definitely a throwback here. We're definitely kicking it back to the good old days of at least our childhoods. Maybe some of our viewers may not be as old as us folk, but maybe they're older. Maybe they only had 3 channels at one time, or 10 channels, I think it was.
Listen, sometimes you had to make do with what you had. And one of those channels is always the golf channel for some reason.
Oh, yeah, dude. It was exclusively golf.
It was the news, golf, weather, and then some combination of random channels. And one of them was Telemundo.
And one of them was always a programming channel.
Or
that
soap
only
opera.
showed commercials that were like 2 hours long. And they're just like, oh.
But now it's going to be Channel 3 is going to be Star Wars, Channel 4 is going to be Avatar, Channel 5 is going to be, Disney movies. I don't know. It's just going to be, Channel 6 is going to be Marvel.
I mean, listen, I think it's cool. I think it's fun. It's going to be interesting how they look at, pairing movies and TV shows in there. Because I don't want to go from watching, Rogue One to, Episode 1. I'll be really upset if that happens.
I mean, I think if they're going to do anything along those lines, everything has to be, some poor soul is going to have to sit there and figure out the canon timeline for all these things and arrange this into that sequence. Or which I would appreciate, actually. Or 2, some poor soul is going to have to organize all of this playlist. That's what it is. It's a playlist.
It's basically a playlist, yeah.
To episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then Mando season 1, Mando season 2, Mando season 3,
yeah,
Ahsoka, Bad Batch, Clone Wars,
the
in that order.
thing that would be hell chronologically to do would be that era of Kenobi and Andor season 2. Or is it season 1? That stretch of time, and then the Clone Wars stretch of time, because the movies and the series are taking place at the same time, but also the Clone Wars episodes are not released chronologically, so that's why they're so discombobulated. At least the first few aren't. The first few seasons aren't chronological, so you're literally just slapping together adventures that they're on, and it's gonna be hell for that person if they do that chronologically. Or they do have one other option. For a franchise like Marvel or Star Wars, who have the plethora of both TV and movie, a TV channel and then a movie channel.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. I mean, I still would like, to be able to select my own show. So hopefully they don't remove that and they just add this channel feature. I want to go on Disney Plus and I want to watch what I want to watch, right? Because that's what I'm paying for. I'm not paying for a permanent channel service where I have to watch what they decide to run at the time.
Yeah, and I don't think that's how they're going to do it. I think they're going to leave your option to watch what you want to watch, but you're still going to have, the option to if you don't know what you want to watch, but you want to watch something Star Wars, just throw on the Star Wars channel and something will be on. Now, again, I'll be really upset if I'm looking to watch Rogue One and I get Boba Fett. There's going to be times where you'll be upset with what comes up.
I mean, and if they're going to give us access to watch what we want to watch on the channel that we were watching at the time, then what was the point of even adding that when we could just simply go to the Star Wars section and select what we want to watch?
Well, I think the difference is it's going to be for those people who don't know what they want to watch, but they want to watch Star Wars or they want to watch Marvel, but they just don't know specifically, because they've expanded so far now with so much to watch. Something like Avatar wouldn't be hard. There's 2 movies. Watch one of the 2 movies. But something that's maybe newer, that has, or not newer, but something that maybe has more of a broader range of things to watch, they could choose what they want to watch because you might be wanting to watch something with the Force. So now you can only rule out one show, and that's Andor, right? You don't want to watch Andor. Okay, boom, that's off the table. But you still have 15 other properties to choose from. Or maybe you want to watch Andor and you don't want to watch something that's Force based. Turn the channel on. There's a good chance you're gonna find something that isn't Andor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really just looking forward to that whole model.
I kind of am.
I'm not. I'm against it. I just don't think that it's necessary. I mean, like if you were to go to like a party or something, I could see where that'd be beneficial, right? Because you just go, okay, hey guys, this is a Star Wars party. This is a Marvel theme party.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put this on the television and we'll go from there,
Mm-hmm.
which would be pretty cool.
Right. Or
But
even I feel like Halloween parties would be easy.
I feel like that's the only thing that would be relevant for, outside of, hey, I can just go, I want to watch Ahsoka. I want to watch Andor. I want to watch Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. I just don't see the presses behind it outside of you just want a roaming playlist to play at any given time, which doesn't seem beneficial because, let's be honest, not everybody's just going to watch what they want to watch. They'd rather just select what they're going to select.
Yeah.
And then what are you going to put in there? Are you going to put in all of Clone Wars, all of Rebels, all of these things that some people don't watch? Let's be honest, there are Star Wars fans who do not like the animated stuff, even though it plays a lot to the story.
Yeah. I think the big issue, right, really with this is if we think back to like traditional cable television, they didn't always used to air movies interspliced with TV shows. They may do that here or they may not, right? I wouldn't be upset if it was just Star Wars TV shows because at this point we now have Clone Wars, Rebels, Mando, Andor, Ahsoka, Boba Fett, and you have multiple seasons of some of these shows. That's six shows.
Tales of the Jedi.
Right, Tales of the Jedi. You have now 6, soon Tales of the Empire, Acolyte. So now you have 9 projects that some of them have multiple seasons. You could easily run a channel that could run for weeks just based on that content, and then just put the movies on a separate movie channel.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think if this feature would work out for me, I would want it as a chronological timeline.
Yeah, chronological is the only way I think, though. Yeah,
I think I would like to see, whatever happens. I would like to see. Obviously, it starts out with Tales, then we go Episode 1, and then so on and so forth till we get to the Clone Wars and all the fun stuff. And I would like to see that in its entirety. Sure, it would take me close to 3 weeks to watch all of it, but I think it'd be pretty cool to see how everything kind of lines up. And it'll allow a lot of viewers to briefly understand how the timeline works. Because I think some people still don't understand how the chronological timeline of Star Wars is. I sometimes struggle to keep things aligned. Like, hey, when did this happen? When did that happen? When did this happen? Who died when?
So, the total runtime for the movies is 25 hours and 7 minutes. So more than a day to watch all the 11 original live-action movies. Then, if you tack on TV shows, you're up to 350 plus hours. So, it's going to take you a super long time to get through everything, if they were to put it that way, because that's 2 weeks. It's 14 days and 14 hours. That's a shit ton of time.
I also think that it would be beneficial, one, not only for a chronological streamline of channel, it would also be good for just enjoying different directorial and picture and shooting styles.
It would be cool to see
each
that.
one of these TV shows and films each has a different director with a different producer, which has a different angle and preference for things, and you get to really appreciate how people shot these films and how they animated these cartoons and the voice acting, and there's a lot of great things that they could do here where you could appreciate it all at the same time.
Yeah, and I think especially with Star Wars, because they've started to do those behind the scenes, the making of, you have things, like Under the Helmet, which is a behind the scenes of like Boba Fett and kind of how he began, and then you have like the gallery franchise for the Mandalorian. You have the backstory or the behind the scenes of Obi-Wan called A Jedi's Return, which kind of goes through the behind the scenes of these things. But you also have some of the older television shows, like the vintage ones, like Droids, like Ewoks. You have some of the older ones that are, not necessarily the original Clone Wars from 2003, Tarkovsky's Clone Wars, which is awesome. And then you have the shorts as well. So like there's a lot of different. You have the documentaries, Empire of Dreams, which is a great documentary. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go ahead and definitely watch that. I think there's just so much you could do with it. It would also be a good place to air the new shows as they come out weekly, right? Because like imagine being like, okay, it's 9 o'clock on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever they release their episodes. Let's turn on the Star Wars channel and get ready to watch Mandalorian season 4. Like every week you can come to the place, and it would definitely bring back the nostalgia feel of watching cable, right? Which I don't know why I don't know how we ended up back here because it's not just Disney who is starting to feel this, but a lot of other streaming services are like slowly morphing back into like cable by just starting to acquire as much shit as they can.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at like, YouTube TV, Hulu. I mean, these guys are all offering like live television.
Well, I mean, YouTube TV came out as a direct competitor, a cheaper direct competitor to cable, right? And so like they still had to go to the cable companies and essentially like pay for their library or whatever. And they still air they just air the channel and they just choose the select channels, and then YouTube gives you the option to only pay for the channels you want to pay for, right? They have their standard bundle, but then if you want to add just these football channels or just these basketball channels or just these movie channels, you can do that. Because a lot of people, like back in the day with cable, you could only add the movie channels if you have everything else. Like that was the highest package. And then you could only get the football package if you had these other sports packages. And so they were trying to get away from like the big old packages and just give you, here's the standard, right, of $59 a month for this. If you pay an extra $10, you get this channel. Cool. You want to watch football? Buy the football channel. Done. But now, like you said, a lot of places are starting to do this. Hulu has their live too.
Well, now you're losing out is because these different companies are making deals, right? Amazon has almost complete control over Thursday Night Football and some of these other like premier television shows and movies and sporting events.
They just got Godzilla -1. They just acquired that.
Hulu right now has access to like every NHL game.
Okay.
Which is crazy to me. I can watch literally like West Coast games, the Canadian games, which you weren't even able to do even if you bought a premium package like for old cable.
That's the one upside to this.
And that's the thing. Like you're getting access to so many different things, which is great. But like now it's
behind the paywall
like
of Hulu.
It's behind a paywall of just buying Hulu Live,
right?
Hulu Plus, and then there's Peacock is picking up certain things. Amazon's picking up things. They're picking up what,
Monday Night Football?
Everyone's picking up. Everyone's getting a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
So now if you want something, it's locked behind a paywall.
A paywall of that service, which could be, in like Peacock's case, $6. But in YouTube's case, YouTube TV is like $90 now.
You go back to cable.
Yeah.
And
you're at the mercy of the programmer.
Well, here's the thing. Now these cable companies are starting to bundle these streaming services into their packages.
Yeah.
And right now it feels like all these different companies are all vying, but they feel like they're all from behind the scenes. They're all just going, all right, dude, we're all going to get some money here. So,
and that's the thing is like, that's kind of like, I like it because like it gives you the option to like say, hey, I want to watch Andor. Let me just put on Andor. But like, if you like, there was On Demand. On Demand never really had TV shows on it, that I remember at least. But they only had movies. But still, like, On Demand existed. All they had to do was just add a TV show section, and they could easily compete with these streaming services. Just wouldn't have their TV show originals.
The only problem is that there's, you have to add in the additional costs, hardware,
Servers,
cables, running lines, servers, like these modern
Remotes.
streaming services, they don't need much. I mean, and it started with Netflix. Look what Netflix is doing. They're expanding. They have their own production company at this point. They're making their own movies.
They're making damn good TV shows like Avatar
Yeah, like there's
that look
the-
good. CGI's great. Acting is good.
they're expanding, and they're expanding quite rapidly.
And then even if you look at their movie catalog, like the Atom Project is fantastic. It's a Star Wars. It's a Netflix original, and it's incredible.
Yeah, with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, and like they're able
Mhm.
to pay these A-list actors to make some damn good films.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Project was definitely a mind bender. It was
It
a
was
really
great.
good film.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it. I saw it when it first came out.
I watched it.
I do
not
look
long
forward
after.
to some of these movies, like Extraction with Chris Hemsworth. Those were both good movies,
Yeah, I
one
haven't seen
and
the second
two.
one yet, but
Second one was really good.
yeah, the first one was great. Triple Frontier was great. That had Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. No,
It was, um,
the guy from Sons of Anarchy was in it.
yeah, and
Ben
then
Affleck and one other guy.
um,
Can't recall his name.
Pedro Pascal was in there
Yeah.
as well.
Like
You know,
it's dude. That's another great film.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of A-list actors that are in some of these films, and then look at they got Pedro Pascal and Nick Cage to be in a film together.
Yeah,
which
that
was-
one. I haven't seen that.
I
I've
haven't seen it either,
snippets.
but I've seen the snippets look hilarious.
Dude, they're great.
Or, I mean, obviously the meme of Pedro Pascal smiling at Nick Cage. Nick Cage is like, "What are you looking at, Sonny?"
Yeah, it feels like we're regressing towards the age of cable again, right? Like we've come so far from cable with being able to have like anything you want to watch on demand in their catalog, but they're starting to just stick things behind the paywall and say, "Hey, you want to watch this? Pay $2 more. Pay
Yeah.
$4 more.
Pay $2 more a month. Pay $3 more a month.
Right, and-
Add this to your yearly fee.
And not only that, it's like you have to already have 4 of the services that you're paying $15 a month for. So you're paying
Mhm.
$60 for these services anyway. Now if you're adding $3 on each one of them, right, you're not paying $80. So why the hell would you not just say, I'm going to get cable and just watch everything?
Yeah, and like it obviously depends on which cable you go through. Like Xfinity is different from Comcast.
Yeah.
Comcast is different from FiOS.
'Cause they're gonna-
FiOS is different from
Because Comcast
DirecTV.
is now owned by Disney. So you're going to get Comcast and Disney and maybe even Hulu now.
Yeah, because then they're
'Cause
all
they just
bundled,
bought
and then
Hulu.
ESPN Plus.
Yup.
You start getting access to like those really like exclusive games and
And again, it depends, like
the
you said,
UFC fights
In the area, it depends where it works for you.
yeah.
Because in our area, we NBCSN.
Well, we're still dominated by Comcast in this area, so
And
like
because
a
if-
lot of the Philadelphia stuff is blocked out.
So if we get Comcast, we now get this really good bundle as well. It's just a tragic place we're going. Like we're reverting to cable, which I don't mind because I do like the idea of live programming. But it's great for people who are trying to get their product out there because the advertisement system on that is so good. It's expensive now because
Yeah.
not as many people use it. But regardless, I think we're reverting back.
Yeah, I mean, and it's what's awesome is that I'm getting ready to leave here, and I'm gonna go watch the new episode of Shogun, which is on Hulu Tuesdays, new episodes. So peace out.
And I'm gonna go watch the new Bad Batch episode. It's really interesting the way that Disney is taking the approach here, and hopefully we'll see soon how it actually plays out in reality compared to theory. And for that way, I'm gonna say we're done here. Thank you all for watching A&E Blitz. Go ahead and drop a like, leave a comment for what you guys would like to see next time. Subscribe here if you have not already. Follow us over on Twitter and Instagram, AE Podcast. And that's it for this week's A&E Blitz. We will see you guys next Tuesday at 8 a.m. Peace out.